Hi kids, welcome to Terry on Tuesday. Sorry for no video last week. As I said, I was doing the Dan Hadley's Facebook podcast where we talked about the classic early 1971 Steven Spielberg film Duel. If you want to see that, it's on YouTube. Just look for the Space Book. Anyway, this week, as promised, I'm going to show you why 4 cheap-ass placemats, a box of tiny tacks, quite tacky, and a little tin of satin black will help me subjugate humanity and take over the universe. Well, only a handful of people guessed what I was talking about, and of course we're back on the Dalek this week. So, why do I need all this stuff? Well, I have this. This is a neck piece of the Dalek. Obviously bought second hand. It's made of MDF all over, in fact, top, bottom, and 8 struts all the way around. And nailed to it is some aluminium mesh, which has seen better days. I mean, this is second hand, and it's, so I know it's the right size and everything. But it is it's all bent in now, and it's not in the greatest of shape. The hole there. But to save me sort of making it all, I bought this reasonably cheap from someone who's upgrading. So what I need to do is get all this stuff off, all this wire and everything, and replace it with the nice placemats. It's going to have a second coating of wire all the way around, which I don't have just yet. But I've got the black paint to tart it up, make sure it's nice and neat. Just check the construction is pretty decent, which it is. Tacks obviously to attach the placemats, and try not to cut myself to bits in the process, because it is quite sharp, this stuff. So I think we'll maybe I'll get some kind of tool to help remove all this stuff, like pliers, and then we'll get on with it. Ooh, dusty. Right, let's change the camera and then we'll get on with it. Alrighty then, first coffee. Very important coffee. Still don't have any decent toolage, so this tears quite easily. I mean, it's just cheap aluminium mesh that's been painted black. And although this is good for stuff like stormtrooper noses, I call them noses, most people call them frowns. For a Dalek neck, it does go concave, it sort of bends in when it gets pushed. So this has been stapled in, which is probably the sensible thing to do, but they're not nice. They're very nasty. Now across the top he's put some kind of pallet packing strip, which is a good idea actually, but it's all got to come off, for I am the boss. Or should I say, I am the master and you will obey me. Threatening to tip my coffee over as we wrench out. Fair play, heavy duty plasters on that, staples. It may be a case of me actually going into super speed time-lapse mode. Okay, engage. So Nearly there, about halfway there. Just trying to catch all the staples and get all them out, because they do tend to stick in the wood, which is their job, admittedly. But I want them all out. And see, now that's a wobbly one. They're only held with a single screw on each top and bottom, so I may stick a bit of glue in these just to stop them wobbling and maintain structural integrity. But you do get a lot of strength added once you've got the placemats and the extra wire around this. Helps to make it more of a cylinder than a frame. So what's that there? A bit of... Right, any more staples? I see some there. I know I'm kind of working in the dark here, but it's the fact that I've got a window in front of me. So I hope you can see all this. Do not drop staples on the floor. I tend not to walk around the house barefoot, but you never know. So I think my next step is to pop outside with this at the garden, give it a good brush down, get all the filth off it, then I'll tighten it all up, then I'll give it a wee bit of a paint, because the paint is a little sparing on the inside here, sort of, you know, it's all still unpainted, and it could do with a nice little sprucing. And what I might do, all these tacks 3/4 of an inch, or 20 millimeters if you're sane. Is that longer than that? If that went right down, that would actually stop. If I pop that in there, it will stop it from shriveling. Right, so that's done. Painty time, kids.
This time I have to admit defeat.
And we're done. Well, all the outside stuff anyway. Got as much of the edge I can do. Painting the edge of MDF is very difficult. It doesn't like paint. Some of this wood is varnished, some of the struts, so that it doesn't take the paint too well. But it's all going to be covered on the outside by the thick mesh, on the inside by the placemats. So it's just, I think the black paint it just helps to conceal anything from someone looking in. It just keeps it dark in there, and as well, much like when you paint the inside of a stormtrooper helmet, you paint the inside, well, old school people like me, just in case there are any accurate people watching, movie accurate stormtrooper helmets don't have the inside painted, they stay white, as they did in 1976, but when I started trooping in 2007, 2008, we used to paint the insides matte black, so it keeps it darker inside, there's less light bouncing around, you can see better, and when kids look up into the helmet they can't quite make out what they're seeing in there because you've got a black balaclava on as well, so it's all nice and mysterious. Anyway, I'm going to have to turn this over at some point, try and do the inside of the struts and the underside of the rings, but other than that, so far it's a lot nicer. And I have forgot to tell you, on some of the edges where these were slightly wobbly, I did put in some super glue and left it overnight, and it's quite sturdy now. You will see that the raised heads of the tacks all the way around, they're not going to cause a problem for me because, like I said, the head isn't rotating on this thing, isn't rolling on this thing. It's got its own pivots. So yeah, it's quite cloudy. Hoping it doesn't start raining on me, but that will do for now. Wait for that to dry. It's matte black, and as such it's not going to smell too much. I can bring it indoors, although I've got to bring it indoors and put it on something like bricks or newspaper, just so I don't wreck my table. Anyway, that's that. Now here's this. So that's all I managed to do outdoors on the neck bin this week. Sorry it's a day late, by the way. As you can see, this is the neck bin of the old Dalek there. I am going to probably change my mind and not use the tacks to attach the material and the mesh around the outside of the neck bin. I'm going to go back to using staples because you can put loads of them in and they make less visible evidence than a tack. Anyway, I will hopefully do that in time for next week's video, if things don't go mental, and I will see you all next week. Take care now. Bye bye then.